So, right, welcome back, everyone. Episode 2
What
of
up?
Radcast. Back with Quan, back with DaftBubble. So, just want to first and foremost thank everyone for the support that you've shown us for episode 1. It's been really good. We've got a lot of good feedback, and we're really happy with how things went. So, hopefully, we can just continue that with this episode and future episodes. Like I said, you got any questions or anything like that, drop them in the comments and we'll gladly give shout outs and we'll, read those questions out and give your own answers. And then just so you know, there was a bit of confusion. This isn't actually live when I put this as a premiere on the Thursday night. But I will be sat watching it live and answering any questions. So feel free to join in with the live chat and, and I'll be there and maybe the others will join in and we can all have a conversation around that at the same time. So in that respect, it will be live. But yeah, thanks a lot. So we're going to kick off and basically we're just going to start really simple with what we're currently playing. We'll just get in there, hit the ground running. So we'll go to you first, Andy. What are you currently playing?
I am playing 2 games at the moment, and that is Cyberpunk still. And I am also playing Oddworld New and Tasty, the remake of Abe's Odyssey from the PS1. Obviously, I'm quite excited about the new one coming out soon. So I thought I'll jump straight
that was your most anticipated game from the last episode, wasn't it?
It is. Yeah, it is. So I'm playing that, and I will be uploading some YouTube videos on that on my channel. Hopefully by the end of the mind you, this is coming out on Thursday. So hopefully by Friday you should have a video up. Go and check it out.
Yeah, all channel links will be in the description down below. So click on those, go get subscribed. And so Quan, what are you playing?
All right, so shit, man. I'm always just playing like a shit ton of games at one time. So right now, the main games I'm going back and forth between, if I want to play like some chilled and relaxed sports, I'm playing MLB 19. So yeah, that was free in the PlayStation Store, just getting some baseball in because Madden literally pissed me off to the point where I went to a whole different sport. So just been playing that. And also playing the Walking Dead Telltale series. I'm on season 2. So awesome. Yeah, episode 4. Yeah. Having a lot of fun on that, playing it second time. And then I started Ghost of Tsushima. I started that again. Still in the beginning of the game, but I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah,
awesome.
But those are the main games I'm playing. I feel like I'm missing a lot, but
I'm a little bit upset that none of you have mentioned that we've been playing Rocket League together. So
I'm trash.
Bit of Rocket League. We've been playing some of the new Black Ops Zombies, which like that, I'm really enjoying that. Like, I think that's really, really good. That's got me back into the whole Call of Duty side of things. I'm enjoying that. But yeah, at the moment, I just went back through Strider, hence the t-shirt. I just went back through the 2014 remake that they did. I say remake, sequel, whatever, reimagining. And I think that's like one of my favorite 2D like side scrollers where it's sort of Metroidvania, that sort of style. But yeah, excellent. Had a great time with that. I still got to do the boss, but the problem is if you go to the boss, you can't then go back and get all the collectibles from earlier levels. So sort of like you were saying with Cyberpunk last time. So I'm trying to get all the collectibles, but I'm just taking my time with that because it's a great game. And I got 2 more other than collectible trophies, I got 2 more trophies to get on that. And I don't normally platinum games. I got to complete it on hard, which annoyingly I thought I was already playing it on hard, but I'm not. I'm playing it on normal, so I've got to go through the whole game again. And then the other trophy is to complete the game in under 4 hours. And I'm hoping I don't have. I think you can just do that on regular difficulty. So I need to make like a plan of action for that. Hopefully I can do that because I do really enjoy that game. But yes, I'm playing that Rocket League Black Ops. I dug out the Wii U and started playing Star Fox Zero.
Nice.
I miss the Star Fox sort of on rails, shooters, things like that. So yeah, I've gone back through that, and I think it's great. It's got some awkward controls with you have to use like the gamepad to sort of aim and stuff. It's a little bit cumbersome, but it's all right. Neon Abyss, I'm still loving that. I'm going through that in the background. That's like a roguelike. You die, you start again, but you level up each time. And then I recently downloaded Resogun, which was a launch title on the PS4, like an old school like shoot 'em up style game. And yeah, I'm having a great time with that as well. But I forgot how difficult that was. So that's what I'm playing. I'm having a good time. There's nothing else nothing else really that I'm even playing in the background. But yeah, I darted around a few little indie titles, but couldn't really get into anything else. So yeah, I'm loving all of those at the moment.
Awesome.
It's been a good time. Yeah, it's a good time for gaming, you know. There's I've been getting through some, you know, some old games and sort of jumping into some newer ones. I'm happy with that. And then I thought, going in with games, I thought we would discuss favorite music / soundtrack from a game. Now, Andy, I think I can guess yours.
I don't even know. I've forgotten. Go on. You're going to have to
jog
my memory.
I don't know. I remember ages ago you mentioning something about Final Fantasy VII, the original, having some of the best music. But I don't know if that's your answer. Don't want to put words in your mouth.
I do. You know what? Because obviously when I'm out working in my van, I'm one of those types where if you pull up to a set of traffic lights and you know you've got someone playing some rap music and R&B, I'm slapping on some Final Fantasy or some Thief. That's right, place the Thief. No one knows the Thief soundtrack. No one knows.
I couldn't even tell you what sort of genre that is. No idea.
I actually, because of you, Ryan, I've actually been listening to the Katana Zero soundtrack. I actually listened to some of that again today. It's like, oh man,
it is. Yeah,
beautiful. It's beautiful, and I have been listening to a lot of cyberpunk as well.
I haven't heard anything on cyberpunk music-wise.
It's good. It's good. There's a lot of good music on it.
I'm sure it's good style.
But that's how I roll.
Yeah,
that's what I do. So I listen.
Popping in those cassettes in your van, yeah.
Get the pencil out just to sort out the film, make sure.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Tighten up that ribbon.
Yeah, I do listen. I mean, Final Fantasy X probably got the best soundtrack.
Okay,
I love that one. I love that one, and 8 as well. I know. I remember this Besaid Island. It's a beautiful track. But yeah,
I mean, I thought you were just gonna like sit back then and daydream about it and be like, I'll be back. I've got to go listen to it now.
I went for a trance. I was like,
those were the days, eh?
But yeah, no, I do, and you know what? I even listen to the Resident Evil 2 soundtrack as well. You can't beat that weird soundtrack when you're in the police department. I don't know why I listen to it. I like
nice music to go to sleep to, is it?
Yeah, it's probably why I have nightmares. So yeah, it's what waking up at 3 a.m. But yeah. I would say it's hard to pick a favorite because there's just so many. But I would have to say probably at the moment. You know what? When this stream finishes, I'll go off downstairs or to bed. I'll think I didn't think of that. But it's definitely. That one is like, why not? It's like, you know, when you pick your top 3 games, you know,
I
thought, wait a minute, why didn't I pick Tenchu? I love that game.
Well, you see, I was honest and said that mine would change. So
yes,
yeah, he did.
So I'm honest.
I'm not cementing my answers.
No, I'm at the moment. Definitely Final Fantasy X. It's a beautiful soundtrack. So
give it a listen. Let's give it a listen.
Next stream, when we do the next one, I'll be like, didn't think of that one.
Yeah.
So definitely. Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Quan? What music gets you grooving?
Man, like Andy said, it's so many. Like it's hard to choose. But if I had to think of one just off the top of my head, it's automatically going to be GTA San Andreas because there's just a lot of old school music in that game, man. It's like old school hip hop, old school R&B, pop, and like rock. It's so many different genres in the game, and then like just the theme song is just so groovy, you know. Like when it first comes on, I hardly ever skip the intro, man. It's just, I don't know, it's just so wavy.
That intro is a great track.
No, I'm well into the GTA soundtracks. 100%.
Yeah,
I'm with
I
you.
Forgot about Vice City. I forgot about Vice City, by the way.
Wow.
Vice City is awesome too, man. Vice City is like probably like right up there, man.
Yeah,
right up there.
Yeah, totally.
No, I agree. I've got the box set for GTA 5 like on vinyl, so it's over like 6 records, and that's got like, you know, their original score, their original songs. Then it's got like, you know, other tunes on there as well from the game, and every time you hear that, like especially the score from GTA 5, you can picture what mission you're on. you know.
Yeah.
Like it's brilliant. And there's some really good, and it's pressed really well. It sounds awesome. For me, so I never thought a modern or a more recent, more modern soundtrack would be my number one, but it's right here. And it's like Andy said, Katana Zero for me is everything I love in a record. It sounds incredible. Like Chinatown, and right. So especially with video game soundtracks, I get a lot of them on record, but like a song will be like a minute long, and it's really annoying because like it'll be a good song and then like a minute and you're like, oh man, and it sucks because you get into it. This one, man, these songs like 4 or 5 minutes, like I think Chinatown hits nearly 7 minutes long, and it's just when that starts and when you play the game as well, the music fits perfectly. It gets you pumped. Like it's one of those games where like the music like helps you play the game. You know, you're like, oh man, I got to do well. I got to make this smooth because it's got to go with this song. And yeah, it really is hands down like my favorite. Not just one of my favorite like video game albums. It's one of my favorite albums that I listen to. Like across everything. I really do think it's absolutely fantastic, and I only got this in January on record, and just because it's been a while, like, you know, big backlog on pressing plants and stuff, so they finally got it made. I was a little bit disappointed with the artwork, to be honest, because it's the front cover from the game. I was hoping they would, because normally when you buy video game soundtracks, they do something completely different with the artwork. So I was a little bit disappointed with the initial artwork, but it's a great image. I just thought they'd do something different. And the DLC's coming soon for the game. It's a brilliant game. Highly recommend that. So yeah, that's that for me. That for me. But for me, it's more, it's perfect. I love it. I haven't really got anything else to say. You can all get it on Spotify, and you can listen to Chinatown and be like,
I already have.
Oh, man, this guy's just shown us some of the best music, and it's a great game. I highly recommend the game. It's one of my favorite 2D side scrollers. Like it's really, really good. It's got a slightly different mechanic to a lot of other games. And yeah, awesome. Great story. Great sort of, that's enough about Katana Zero. Just go play it. It's brilliant. I love it. Listen to the music. Absolutely fantastic. Right. Well, let's go over to one of you, because you had some questions as well. So let's go to you, Quan. Let's do one of yours. What you got for us?
All right.
What you got for us?
So I guess we could go ahead and kind of dive into what your inspirations were. So like, what kind of inspired you guys to create your YouTube channel or your Instagram, or just both of them?
Okay.
We can start with you, Andy.
Oh, okay. So I suppose for me, it just happened. So with my YouTube channel, this is when I found out that the PS4 had a share factory, had a capture card. I didn't have anything special. I still don't. I did have a capture card, a proper one, but it was with my dodgy laptop, which is now broken. But I don't know. I just felt like just uploading stuff, and of course I got Bloodborne, which is obviously my pride and joy and love-hate relationship. But I started to do, which are on my YouTube channel actually, I started to do like sort of boss fights and just uploading those just for the sake of it, to be honest. And
those are the bits people want to see as well, like those are like the good bits,
Yeah, exactly. I didn't really want to do a whole gameplay, because pretty much by the time I was thinking, should I do one, everyone else is doing it. And I thought, well, they won't come and watch mine unless I talk all the way through, which is something I need to do, and which is something I started to do actually only recently. But I will say this, and this is going to probably make Ryan blush, is that actually since I've met Ryan, it's actually kind of inspired me to do it more.
I am an inspiration to many people. So
you are, you're not modest either. No, in all seriousness though, because I do enjoy my job, which I do. And obviously when I come home, have my family time, and then obviously pretty much after that, all I do is game. So I want to do more, and I am planning on doing more. And hopefully after probably in the next sort of couple of weeks, you start to see more consistency in my channel as well. And that's pretty much it. It was never like, oh, I wanted to do this. It sort of just happened. And then I left it, and I kind of left it basically, but then met Ryan obviously throughout lockdown, because he's partners, friends with my partner. And seeing what Ryan does, and seeing what like I say, looking at his setup now, you can see all the colours, and that's absolutely brilliant. And
this took me all day. You can tell I haven't got a job. Well, it's not that I haven't got a job. You can tell I'm not working at the moment because I'm in lockdown. This took me all day. Like, I built this.
I know. I like the video of you building your chair.
Well, instructions are there to be followed, and sometimes I struggle, so it makes a funny video.
And it works. And it works. But I no, in all seriousness, that it's kind of urged me to do it more, because that's all I do. It sounds sad, it isn't. My partner, thankfully, I'm very fortunate to have her. She gets that. That's my thing. That's my thing that I like doing. And yeah, so more to come, obviously, on my channel.
Nice.
But it's kind of started from nothing, and now I want to do something with it for the sake of fun, like Ryan does. So
yeah.
And UncleQuan as well, obviously since obviously knowing Ryan, I've got to see what you do, and it's like, yeah, so it kind of made me, and I've seen all you guys doing it, and I'm interacting with you guys. I'm thinking, come on, I want to do some of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah. Yeah.
Late.
For me, it was just, I just wanted to become famous and make millions. No, I'm joking. I basically started playing Gran Turismo Sport. GT Sport. I think even my first upload was GT Sport last year. Yeah, sort of early last year. Like Andy, it just, straight up through the PlayStation and stuff. I ended up doing workarounds so I could actually edit videos and stuff on my phone and then upload them. And I enjoyed the edit side of things, putting text in and funny little images and stuff. And, I enjoyed that. So even a GT Sport video from me, like we were in the go-karts, if someone spun out, I'd superimpose a banana skin from Mario. And I enjoyed that side of it.
Yeah.
I don't expect really anything from it. I enjoy it. And like Andy, we've met loads of new people now. We play online with different people. The fact that we're talking to someone now from across the globe, obviously the internet is a big help in that respect, and it's great fun, different perspectives and stuff. And then the more I got into it, I started getting a little bit of a setup and everything, and then I started getting myself on camera and trying to get confident with that. But for me, it's always been you'll see if you go on my channel, I'm so behind with the times on my videos. I don't ever play this has just come out, so I'm going to be playing this big game. I play random little games that sometimes people haven't even really heard of, and hopefully then they go and try those games. But I just do it for fun. I don't do it necessarily for other people. I play a game. I like playing it. I like doing the edits. I like uploading it. And then I like talking to people about that particular game. Or whatever it is, whether I do a record or something.
I think that's important though, because I'm not YouTubers or anything, but that's what I like about your channel, Ryan, is because you're not playing the latest games. I know it sounds really weird, but I think there's a lot of audience out there that actually prefers what you're doing in comparison to all the other famous stuff. Here's the new game, quickly, let's do a playthrough of it. Yeah, that's all well and good. That's all well and good.
But that also brings stress as well.
It does. It's too much pressure.
Oh man, I gotta play this game the day it's come out. Come on, little girl, go to send my daughter to bed early so I can do this game, get the video done. And I'm stressing out that the 4K is not active, and and I was like, and then by the time I've done it, millions of other people have done a similar thing.
And it's games that you don't like though either. So there's YouTubers out there that are playing games that they're not into, but they have to now do it.
Yeah, it'd be easy now. It'd be easy for me to just play Call of Duty, to just play Fortnite. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't want to.
Yeah.
No. But those you get those sort of games, and those are the ones that bring in the huge audiences and things like that. But don't get me wrong, there's other games, there's other niches and things like that. I follow sim racing channels that are so successful, but that's all they play. I can't just play one type of game, or even one game. I have to just play whatever. And like I said, the main game I'm playing at the moment, bar what we're playing online together, was Strider. That's from 2014. But I was going through my back catalog on PlayStation. I was thinking, I just want to play some 2D. I want to play some 2D. and I saw that. I was like, man, I haven't played that since 2014, you know, and I love that game. And then he's like always a character I would use in, you know, Marvel versus Capcom. You know, he's in those as well, and just he's like a really awesome like design on a character and stuff. So it makes me want to go back and play those sort of games.
Yeah, but the diversity of you know, people playing different games, though, it's like you and I. All of us, just say we all got different tastes in games, but that's how we're all. Like,
and I'll be honest, if we didn't go through lockdown like we did last year, and I mean, I've been in lockdown. Last year I was in lockdown personally for like 3 months early in the year, or 4 months maybe. I can't remember how that was. And now from like where I am now, I've been in lockdown since November. You know, I've still got a job and I'm still getting paid, but I haven't actually worked since October, and I'm not going back until May, you know, and
that's a good little gap.
And when everything's shut, you need a hobby. And thankfully I'm in a very good position where my wife also games, which she plays online with us. She's in our videos and stuff. And thankfully I have that relationship as well. So I don't have to, you know, oh, can I do this tonight? You know, like we get on. I mean, look, should we get her on camera? She should be right there.
Look at that. She's
watching. You watching porn? She's watching Breaking Bad. You know, and so inspiration for making the channel was just I enjoyed the edits, and I still enjoy the edits. I mean, I was saying to Andy just before we came live, like, you know, I've got some videos that I'm editing and stuff, and they're not going to do anything, but I'm doing it for me. Like, I've done a cool Strider one where it's like I've made the video like ultra wide and I've cinematic and stuff, and that's just for me, and it's on YouTube. I haven't like put it public or anything, and I probably will, but I'm not expecting anything from it. And I don't upload videos expecting anything. And I think that's the trick. As soon as you start stressing about, oh man, this one's only got 10 views, like, you know, some of my videos have done well. You know, I've got one that's hit 4,000, and I'm like, why? Like, I don't know why that video did so well, and then something similar does terribly. It's just luck of the draw. And
that stuff doesn't.
Just got to do it for the fun of it. So Quan, what was your inspiration?
Well, my Instagram and my YouTube both have kind of different inspirations. So I started my Instagram first, and I started Instagram just based off of like just loving games. I love the culture of gaming. So, and like the art from it, you know, it's just like so diverse and it's so global. So I wanted to start the Instagram literally so I could connect with different people from around the world, so I could like get more online friends and stuff like that. And just kind of see like different forms of art from gaming, you know what I mean? Because it's so diverse. It's such a huge just world by itself. So like, I had like no intentions of like building a following or anything. Or, like, I just had no goals for it. It was just like, hey, let's start an Instagram, because like before then on my PS4, I would always just capture random clips and like gameplay and pictures and stuff like that. And it's just sitting in my gallery. So I was like, well, let's do something with this, man. Let's put this stuff out. And that's how it kind of started. It just kind of happened. Just like Andy was saying, it just kind of happened, you know, and it was just something I stuck with. And it's definitely built a pretty good little fan base, good audience. And just having fun with it, like every day, just building connections with different people, and getting a lot of positive feedback, and just seeing a lot of different inspirations and stuff like that, man. It's just so cool to see and just interact with everybody, you know. And then my YouTube literally just like came from, I just play so many games, man, so many games, and I beat so many of them. So that was just kind of another thing, like, I want to like kind of learn how to edit videos and then like just kind of get them out there. And me and my brother, we would play games and stuff like that. And we just like have fun with it, like just completely shenanigans, man, just craziness, just like playing horror games and throwing freaking water bottles at the TV when we get scared and stuff. And he was like, hey, man, like, you should just start YouTube, man. You might actually, you know, be able to do something with it. I mean, okay, I'll do it for fun, you know, just to see where it goes. And like, I just kind of stuck with it, doing like little clips at first, and then like I started doing walkthroughs. I was like super nervous starting out, like commentary. Like I just truly didn't want to be judged. Like at the time I was in college, so I had like a lot of college friends. I'm like, man, what are they gonna think seeing like this 22-year-old at the time, just 22-year-old man like playing video games, screaming and cussing on this stuff. Like I was so afraid of what people might have thought, and then it was just like, you know what, fuck it, like let's just have fun. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's just something I stuck with, and like I realized, you know, there was support with it, and like, you know, a small little audience. I was like, okay, well, if you guys are watching it, and you're enjoying it, hey, I'll keep putting out that content for you guys. So
well, yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. And I think, like, especially in the current climate with how we are, like, there's definitely sort of a danger of doing it for the wrong reasons, you know, and you just the main thing that you got to get out of it is having a good time. And I, you know, especially lately, I'd say this year, like I've met so many new people. You know, I say met, you know, online, met, you know, playing different games together and stuff, and we've got different opinions on certain things, and I like that. You know, it's boring when everyone likes the same thing and does the same thing, but you know, you're like, you know, I won't play Resident Evil 7, but I'm sort of playing it through you. You know, like you're doing your walkthroughs, and you know, and like that's funny. And you know, you said the word shenanigan earlier, like that's 100% your catchprize. Like I love it. It's brilliant. Like loading into your video, you know, you do your intro, we're back with the shenanigans and all this, you know, and then like I said, like we're you know, we're a minute in and they're screaming and stuff. And I love it, you know. And then we just did Rocket League videos and stuff, and they're just hilarious. And that's part of it, like putting them on the internet. And I think also it's a good way to preserve. I mean, like this might sound a bit weird, but like imagine like, I don't know, 40 years time, like could still be on YouTube, you know, like when my daughter's older, like she can see what, you know, see like how much of an idiot a dad was, or like his like hobbies and stuff and things like that, you know, and like that will be there for her to watch, you know, and like that's pretty cool. Like, it's got that sort of, I don't know, like preserving that side of things as well. Whether they're going to be like massively cringy for her to watch, I don't know. But
just touching on that though, obviously my son, who's obviously 12, he was so chuffed today. By the way, when you uploaded your like the goals from Rocket League, that you put his name in, mate. You made his day.
Well, you know, and it was there, you know.
Put my name in.
I mean, the first edit, I took all of his goals out. I was like, no. I'm joking. But that's the thing. That's the fun side of it, you know. It's bringing people together. It's you know, it's just all about trying to feel good in like bad times, and gaming is a huge escapism for people.
Absolutely.
But also it can go the other way, you know. Like if you're, you know, I know people who are playing Fortnite and they're just stressing out, you know. Like I did, like, that's why I stopped playing Apex. And I was honest about that last time, you know, playing Apex for me, you know, it like to start with, it was fine, but then I started getting competitive, and then I stopped enjoying it. I stopped enjoying it. I was playing it for the wrong reasons. So I just stopped. I just went cold turkey. It's like, no more, you know? So.
Whereas I've gone back into it, but I'm remaining casual.
Relapsed. Nah, it's cool. Right.
So, what was you guys' most awkward gaming experience? Ryan, we can go with you first.
Right. Okay. So mine is in regards to the PS3. Technically, I wasn't gaming, but it did involve a PlayStation 3. So when I'd been away for like 6 months traveling, basically, and I came back, and my dad wanted a Blu-ray player, and I said, "Oh, the PlayStation 3's got a Blu-ray player." So he bought me one. I was like, "Thank you, Daddy." and you know, I basically commandeered it. He pretty much never used it, so he just bought me a PlayStation 3, and that's when they like first came out. I got Skate. That's the game I got with it. I was really happy. Anyway, the reason I said about the traveling is because then I realized on the PlayStation 3 you could upload pictures, videos, you know, use it like a computer, like a PC, right? So I uploaded all my traveling photos, and then, you know, a few weeks went by. I'd met a girl, you know, she came round, you know, we're hanging out, watching movies. And then I was like, "Oh, you know, do you want to see like some photos of my traveling?" She's like, yeah, okay. So I had it like full screen, you know, the photos. We're just like, you know, clicking R1, going through photos. Here's me snowboarding. Here's me getting wasted. Like, here's all this cool stuff. And then there was like like porno images on the screen.
Oh no!
like that I downloaded, you know, like naked women, you know, whilst I'm traveling.
Shit.
You know, I didn't always have a girl to cuddle up with, and so I'm like, I clicked and it's like full screen. I'm like, so I was like, quick, like next picture. But there was another.
Oh shit!
Next picture. Oh shit! Next picture. So when I'd uploaded it, I didn't do it like via like albums. I just uploaded everything, and they just were in a big long line of images. So it was like everything just mixed together. So I was just like, oh no. I mean, I can say her name because like she won't ever watch this, but her name was Fiona. I was just like, oh, well, that's awkward. Someone stitched me up, haven't they? She's like, oh yeah, they must have. Yeah. Well, that was the last time I saw her, so that didn't work out. But
oh damn, man.
So that was it technically, you know, involved the PlayStation 3. So I was like, oh man.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
I can only imagine like just having a big ass screen with just like ass all over it. Just like, oh shit, you know, nah, that wasn't me. Nah.
It just kept going as well. Like, you know, I should have gone back, but I kept going forward and it was just like more. It's just like, oh man, I'm only human, man. You know?
Oh yeah.
That's hilarious, man. What about you, Andy? What was your most?
And I can't top that.
Oh shit!
Oh, where's it gone? There he is.
My bad.
Ah, shit.
Mine's actually. I mean, I have many, obviously, gameplay wise. But I would probably have to say PS3 related. Playing Heavy Rain. I don't know if any of you ever played Heavy Rain. It's a bit like
quantum whatever.
What's that? Your one? What's the one that you played recently, Quan? It's the same maker.
In the Quantic Dream.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I was quite happily, casually playing. It's like a film basically, and you just decide on what events happen. Got to a bit where you have an opportunity to romance with a woman. And of course, yeah, that's right. And I decided to go with it. And of course, I decided to go with it. And as soon as they started taking the clothes off, my mum came through the bedroom and she said, what are you watching? So I'm not playing, I'm playing a game, Mum. Playing a game. What kind of game is this?
Watching porn.
So, thank goodness I didn't go like this. At that moment, but I was like, oh, boobs. And then
they look good. But was it good graphics?
At the time, they were, Ryan. Yeah, at the time, I would say it's okay now. I think it does all right.
I played a bit of The Witcher when that first came out. I was like, oh, you know, let's try and get into a big game. I didn't, you know, I did all right. I lost my save, so I was a bit upset. But yeah, there was some boobs in that.
Yeah. Lots of boobs. Yeah. So, what about you, Quan?
Man, I have a lot of them, man. I have a lot, but one that like automatically comes to mind when I hear like most awkward moments. I was playing GTA 4 on PS3 as well. And
I tell you, the curse.
PS3, man, it was just it's definitely a curse. But I remember it very vividly. But I should have turned my volume down. I was playing GTA 4 and I picked up a prostitute.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know my mom was home at the time. So my volume is just like up loud and like I'm recording this.
It's the soundtrack, wasn't it? Phone. You were listening to the soundtrack, weren't you? Yeah.
It's the soundtrack. Man. But I was recording it with I think I had a flip phone at the time. I don't know. I don't remember, but I definitely had a camera phone. And I was recording it just like so I could send it to my buddy, just having a good time, just laughing at it and shit. And she comes in there, like, remind you, I did not know she home. And like, you know, they moan and stuff in the car when you have a prostitute. So she's just in there like, what the hell are you playing, man? I was like, oh, it's a game. It's a video game. I promise I'm not doing nothing I'm not supposed to be doing. It was very awkward, man. Like, I felt so like cringy after that. I was like, dang, did my mom think I'm just in here jacking off game porn or some shit? So, it was just awkward.
Like they're worried about the violence. That's the last bit they need to be worried about. Realistic graphics.
But yeah, man, I felt like awkward. I was like, damn, do I go talk to her about that, or like, I don't know.
And you can't really show her either because like it involved you picking up a prostitute, so you can't even say, no, look, my mom is this innocent. Like,
oh no, they're just wrestling, ma.
just testing the hydraulics. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, so what have we got next on the list? Okay, so I got one for you. Right, it's sort of a two-parter because it goes both ways. So to start with, games that you wanted to love but ultimately disappointed you. But on the flip side, a game you didn't think you would enjoy but actually like really did enjoy.
Okay.
Who wants to go first? Who's ready?
I'm ready.
Go for it. I'm not. I forgot about this.
Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs. Which way
Watch Dogs.
Which way round? Loved it, then but hated it, or
thought it would be the best thing ever, and it turned out to be an absolute load of pants.
Load of dogs.
Yeah, it's a load of rubbish. So yeah, I can't even remember what year that came out now, but it's for the they did like an E3 showing of it, which was like at least a year, maybe a bit more, before. And it looked incredible. You basically control this guy. He's got a big coat and he can hack into things. And the effects, the visuals were beautiful. It looked like proper next thing, something that would probably compete with Grand Theft Auto. But I remember obviously seeing some of the gameplay footage and all the. Now I am aware, by the way, when they do a display at E3, we all know that there'll be a slight downgrade.
Yeah.
To when the game comes out, they've done it with all games. Any developer or publisher that release it on E3, it's not going to be exactly like that.
Yeah, they're putting their best foot forward, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. So it came out on the PS4, and what I didn't know at the time, it also came out on the PS3.
I didn't know that.
When it came out, it came out. I think I'm pretty sure it came out on the PS3, and it came out on the PS4. But it came out in, and it sounds like I'm a graphic snob here, but it came out in 720p resolution, and it was a massive downgrade to what what everyone has all seen. And as I touched on the first video, I like a good storyline. And I did stick with it, by the way. I did play it in the end because I was looking forward to it that much. But the story was utterly awful. It was like a really basic, and I don't know what Ubisoft were thinking of. You control this character called Aiden Pierce, and basically he's seeking revenge for his niece died. Basically, at the beginning of the game, you're in a car. There's this motorcyclist comes up the side of you, and he basically causes the car to crash. His nephew survived, his niece died, and he's angry about it. But then throughout the game, you learn that actually Aiden Pierce, who's meant to be the superhero, is actually an absolute knob. He's got himself into a lot of trouble. He's and basically, I know it sounds really horrible, he's asked for it. He was, if you're going to be around your family, expect people not, who are after you, not to kill you for it. And what's more funny about it is that you do side missions like you do in Cyberpunk to earn street cred, basically. And you help crime. Your phone detects there's a crime nearby. You go and stop that crime. And I did quite a few of those, which are all pretty much the same. And what adds to it is that when you're walking around amongst people are like, it's that vigilante, he's a hero, he's great to take a photo. And there's me with my phone hacking into that person, stealing their money. And I was stealing everyone's money, made out to be a super. No, I'm not, I'm a complete
asshole.
And it did get a bit slammed when it came out, didn't it?
So don't get me wrong, storylines come and go, but what really got me down is that it was a massive downgrade to what everyone was expecting. That's even the same for the PC as well. It wasn't great on the PC. It's only now that there's modders out there that have modded it up to make it as it should have been. I don't know what the second one's like. I've heard it's better, but nah.
Haven't played it.
But that really yeah, that really was a flop, and I was really excited about that one. So yeah, let me down big time.
No Watch Dogs for Andy.
No Watch Dogs. No, not having any.
What about the other way around? What about a game you weren't expecting to enjoy, but actually like got you going? Or there aren't any.
No, there is. I would say it's Metal Gear Solid on the PS1. I had no interest whatsoever in that game.
Yeah,
just didn't. And I, went around my mates. He lived a couple of doors away from me, and I saw it, and he wouldn't let me play it because it's again single player. It's quite a story-driven game. But I thought, I'll get it. In fact, no, I didn't get it. It was my parents bought it for me. They didn't know what to get me. I think I got it for my birthday or something like that. And I played it, and I honestly, the best. It's one of the best. Again, not in my top three.
It's a game I still want to play. I really, because I know it's not open world or anything. I do like a bit of stealth.
Yeah, straightforward. The first one on the PS1. I mean, I got it on the little PS1 Classic. It's an absolute corker, and it's quite interesting. Again, I didn't pay much attention to it at the time because I was younger, but how Hideo Kojima he's obviously very keyed up on his politics, but he puts politics into fantasy and he blends it all in.
Yeah. And
he makes it into a very enjoyable game.
Yeah, no, I do want to give that. I do want to give those earlier ones a go, definitely. I didn't have a PS1, so I missed out on that, but I've got a PC now. So
get on the game. You can get on the GameCube as well now. And
nice. Might have to. Yeah, I got that down there. I was going to put it here because it all lights up, but I was like, nah, it makes a noise. Sounds like it's going to take off. What about you, Quan? What about games that disappointed you that you were hoping to enjoy?
A game that I was hoping to enjoy that disappointed me, I would say, is Mafia 3. Because Mafia 2 was like one of my favorite games on the PS3, like maybe of all time. It is in the PS3 era, like right behind Last of Us. I really enjoyed that game, so I was looking forward to the third one on the PS4. So I'm like, okay, I'm waiting on this game, watching all the trailers, like super pumped for it. And then it came out and it started good, but then it just started flopping, and then like it started to be very repetitive type of game. And there was a lot of features missing from like the second game that I love so much. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just a whole different vibe to the game. And I was just let down. Like I didn't really like it. So yeah, that was one game I was disappointed with. But a game I thought I would be disappointed with that I actually really ended up enjoying was a game called Knack. So Knack was that was like my first PS4 game when I got my PS4. It came with that. So that was the only game I had to play on the system. So I was like, I mean, I'm just gonna have to play this until I get something else. So why not? I was just so anxious to play the PS4 for the first time. So popped it in, and like I spent hours on that game. I mean, I just did not get off of it. I think I beat it in like day 2 playing that game. Like I really loved it. I'm kind of upset with myself that I didn't play the second one, but definitely want to end up playing that someday.
The second one's meant to be really, really good, like a massive step up from the first one. I think the second one is basically, like that's the game they wanted to make initially, but maybe they were in a bit of a rush trying to get it out for launch. I don't know. Because the first one had good ideas in the first one, definitely. For me, this is a weird one. So game that disappointed me that I was like thought I was gonna love was Mario Odyssey.
I
completed it so quickly. It was a much smaller game than I expected. Don't get me wrong, I haven't collected all the moons. I think I can't remember exactly. I can't remember if it's like 999 or something like that. But last time I looked, I was something like 76 moons off, like fully completing the game. I just haven't done it. But yeah, I was really disappointed with that. I think because I played it for like maybe 3 days straight, not straight, but played it 3 days in a row. Pretty much saw everything it had, including like all the post game stuff. Completed like that super difficult level at the end. I can't remember what it's called now. But yeah, I was just a bit disappointed with that. I thought I was really, really going to enjoy it. I didn't hate it. I didn't dislike it. I don't know. Maybe I expected something more. Yeah. And then they still tried to implement some sort of like move control sort of things. Motion control sort of mechanics as well. Like not like massively, but there's still a few in there. I was like, no, I don't want that. And I think the reason it disappointed me is because 3D World, for me, like I thought was just so good. And that had a really good, post game, challenge. Whereas even Mario Odyssey didn't. It had a really difficult level, but once that was done, it didn't expand anymore really.
No.
So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with that. It had some really good moments in it. Like I enjoyed playing it. It disappointed me because it wasn't. I thought it was going to be something greater. But on the flip side, a game I didn't expect to enjoy was Breath of the Wild, and absolutely loved it. Now, the reason I think I put so much time into Breath of the Wild is because it was a launch title for the Switch, and I wanted to play the Switch. I got the Switch on launch day, got Breath of the Wild. It's a new device. If it was a game that maybe came out 6 months into its lifespan or something, I probably would have been over the novelty of the Switch, so I maybe wouldn't have put as much time into it. I think I sunk 200 hours into that.
I've got that. I haven't played it yet.
It was really good. I really enjoyed that, and as I won't go
on
about it. So
what's that about? What's the Breath of the World?
So it's like one of the Legend of Zelda games, but it's like the first one they did. It's the first one they did that was proper open world. And that sort of puts me off a little bit. But it was also one of those open worlds where you always came across something. You weren't just wandering aimlessly. Like if you climbed something, there'd be something at the top. If you went down a valley, there'd be something down. It was just full of stuff. It was really good. And I enjoyed it. It was really good. So both Nintendo games. One I wasn't expecting to enjoy half as much as I did, and the other one, it was weird because I thought it was going to be the other way around. I thought I was going to prefer Mario, but I didn't, which was a surprise to me. Andy, I know you got a question, right?
I do. Yeah, I do. Your most profound moment in games. Obviously, I'm sure we all got many, but I've got one that stands out. And I remember it very well. It was November 2002.
Yeah.
I was playing Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty.
Okay.
As I just said, first Metal Gear Solid, loved it. Second one came out, absolutely loved it. So I still want to give too much away because you may go to it, but the storyline is pretty similar.
I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about spoilers.
Yeah. I think you loved it. Anyway, so I remember it very, very well. So just to cut to the chase, a very basic storyline. It's a massive oil rig and it's taken over by terrorists. And a group of terrorists, so you are sent in, not as Solid Snake, sent in as a character called Raiden, but Solid Snake is in the game.
Raiden's from the other game, isn't he, as well? Is that right?
He does a ninja one, and he's in Metal Gear Solid. Yeah. So a lot of people didn't like Raiden. I actually did. I was one of the very few in the minority. But anyway, I remember it very well. So my parents went out one evening. They went to have dinner with their friends, and I think I was about 18 or 19. I can't remember how old I was. And obviously, I used to love being on the house on my own when there's no parents around. You get to do what you want, which is pretty much what I did when they were in the house. But you felt like you had the whole kingdom, didn't you? When your parents go out.
Oh yeah.
So I got to a bit which threw me completely. And scared me. It literally, I went to immediately turn off the console. So in the first one you get, and in the second one you get the intercom calls where it comes through. It goes dee, dee, and you press select, and then it's the intercom where your character interacts with like the colonel who's sent you on this mission. Blah blah blah. And your colonel is Roy Campbell, who's in the first one, so he's quite well known. The voice actor, I can't remember his name, but anyway, it was all normal, and then all of a sudden the call came in. I missed it because I was too busy trying to dodge from the guards and etc. And then it kept repeatedly calling. So I press select, and then when it came up with the two, Raiden on one side and the colonel on one side, he immediately said this: "You must turn off your console right now." And his eyes were white, and I was like, and my heart was racing, and I still racing so much. I was like, "What's that?" And anyway, I went downstairs to grab myself a drink, and I thought I got to know what happened. So I, went back, switched it on, and it repeated. And he said, "You must turn off your console right now." And then the call ended, and then it kept calling, and it just went really weird. And then he started saying, he started glitching. I thought there was a problem with the game. I thought the game was broken. You must continue your mission. And then his eyes and his facial features all changed, and his skeleton appeared. Everything happened, and I was like, so I put it down, waited for my parents to come back, and then parents came back, switched it back on because I had a little bit more confidence then.
And it'll protect you from the computer game.
Yep. So I went back to it, and obviously at the time, being a younger adult, I didn't quite get what was going on until he started going on about like just stuff like social behavior, about how politicians and how people are. And then this woman who's meant to be Ryden's girlfriend is also on the intercom. She's there giving him a bit of support throughout this whole mission. And I won't obviously go into detail exactly what they said, but at the time it didn't mean anything. But weirdly enough, I had this thought the other day. I was thinking about it and I was thinking, what were they on about? And I went on YouTube to find out. And basically some of the stuff that they're on about, whilst they're all being weird, by the way, we're talking about how people like spread fake news, basically, spread this stuff. And they're meant to be this higher power, like higher power than the presidency and the government in America and stuff like that. And they're there to correct everything. They're there to manipulate. Like they are some sort of weird artificial intelligence that are there. And I was watching some of the stuff on YouTube. They're basically talking about like social media, which wasn't a thing back in 2003. The game came out in 2001, I think. And I just found it really interesting. So that to me was a profound moment, because not just the whole, it's like they knew what was going to happen. Obviously, any probably clever-minded person probably knew what was going to happen back then and what we are now. But I didn't. But, you didn't
expect to see it in a game that you were playing.
No, I didn't. Yeah. But I think it was that side of things that got me really compelled. But I think it's the whole, like, it was a complete switch. It was literally like a complete switch. It was like you're in a normal mission to like take down these terrorists to save this base. And then all of a sudden that happened. And like I say, I absolutely packed my pants.
The computer's game started talking to you, breaking the fourth wall.
It just said, turn off your console. I didn't hesitate. I went right. Man.
Not taking no chance.
Yeah, that's getting out the window.
It was really weird. And, but at the same time, now, obviously back then I still didn't quite get it. But I played it all the way through. But now, if I was this age playing it back then, I would have probably appreciated it more. But obviously, having that experience as for me to immediately, you think a horror game would make you do that, wouldn't you? But it was Metal Gear Solid 2 that did it for me. So yeah,
right. What about you, Quan? What's a nice profound gaming moment?
I mean, I would say beating Outlast the first time I played it.
Yeah,
that meant a lot, because it took me a while to just play through the game without like screaming and then turning it off. Like I was bad about horror games at first. It was like I would just get scared, and then I was like, I can't handle the jump scares. I can't handle this type of rush. So like me and my brothers, we would play it like after school and stuff, and then like we finally beat it, and it was just like, wow, that was a rush, man. Like we did it. It felt like we just like dragged ourselves through hell and just made it out.
For that fear factor.
I don't know if I saw the first one, but I saw you do the second one on your channel.
Yeah.
Oh right, I've got to watch that.
Yeah,
okay.
there's some screaming. I think I saw a bit with a witch or something, or some lady. I was just like, oh man, so, that's not a game for me. No.
The thing is with that, I actually spoke to Ryan about this a while ago about the first one, and this is just me. When you've got your torch, that's all you have basically, and you pick up these like bits of paper or something that tells you a bit of like sort of like information. Now, no one reads all that apart from me. And I found out that the bald guy, that it's the one that chases you around. Apparently, I can't remember the name. I think his name was something like Derek or something like that. And when I found out what his real name was, he didn't scare me anymore because his name was Derek. That was just me though. But I mean, don't get me wrong.
But that is a thing with like scary games and scary films. Like as soon as you've seen like the bad guy, the monster, whatever it is, it sort of it takes away that like that side of the scariness, doesn't it? Because you now know what to expect.
It's more intense after that. You don't feel scared. You're just like, okay, he's after me. You know, It's like Mr. X in Resident Evil 2. You know, at first you're like, oh, and then after a while you became to like, you know, a thorn in your side, isn't he? So
exactly. And in the remake, all you got to do in the remake is just let him kill you once, and you just realize there's nothing to worry about. You just go back in, and you know. He actually killed me once where I forgot to turn off the game. I actually did a video on that. I'd been doing a video on it, and then I thought I turned everything off, and then I like went off and started doing my own thing, and like you hear me shout out about getting my wife a drink and stuff like that. Then I come back to the game, I'm like, oh crap, I left it on, and Mr. X had killed me. So then I watched it back, and he's just there, like we're in like the main hall, and he's just there, like just beating the crap out of me. Like obviously you just hear me talking in the back about getting my wife a glass of wine.
That's funny you should say that, because I got cocky when I played it. I thought, I'm in the main hall by the typewriter. I'm in my safe place.
Because I think I don't know if
get me. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he came along and started beating me up. I was like, maybe that is my safe space.
Yeah, I just
can go in the safe area.
Yeah,
not all of them, just that one in the main hall. Yeah, as far as I'm aware. So
my most profound gaming moment. I mean, I'd say it wasn't even necessarily playing the game, but when I was younger, I had the N64. I remember like my brother, who was older than me, would go to college, and where his college was where like the computer game store was, and I'd pre-ordered Ocarina of Time, and I didn't have like all the money for it, and so I had to like trade in like 5 other games to be able to like make up the difference, you know. You know, I don't know how old I was, but I was in senior school, and then I remember like I had to wait until he got home after college. He'd taken all the games and he'd sorted it all out for me. And then he brought it home. And I just remember like just getting that game. I didn't even like, and it came out like before Christmas, but sort of that part of the year. I remember like all my friends had to wait till Christmas, and I was just like, nah, man, I'm like going all in. I'm just gonna, you know, trade in everything I got. And I got that game. I just remember like the artwork was beautiful. You know, it was just like a black box with just like the logo in the middle, the, you know, Legend of Zelda logo. There was no like fancy like picture or anything. I was like, this is something else, you know.
Yeah.
And then I went on to play it, and you know, you start off in that, you know, you could pick the name of your character, so obviously it was Ryan. And I thought that was pretty cool. I don't remember another game let me do that really. Like obviously you can type in like initials and stuff on games, you know, when you get a high score, but I don't remember another game actually like it coming up saying your name in the game. And then I just remember like that first bit where you run out into like Hyrule like field, you know, and it's like the first sort of, for me anyway, the first sort of almost open worldish sort of experience, you know. It's just this big, I mean, there's nothing in the field, you know, like, but you run out there, and it was, you know, it was massive. The music kicks in, you know, the sun goes down, you got like that day night cycle. I think for me, like that was one of like my younger moments, you know, in gaming, where I was like, wow, like games have changed. You know, I'd played like Mario 64 already and Diddy Kong Racing and all that, but I think when I got that, I was like, this is a turning point. This is something special.
Yeah.
And before that, I hadn't really played much Zelda before that. We had the one on the Super Nintendo, Link to the Past, was it? We had that, but I was like too young to really sort of play it, understand it. You know, I just wanted to go out and fight everything, and it's not that sort of game. You know, went back to it and loved it. But yeah, I remember that was like a turning point for me for gaming, where I was like, wow, this is something special. Like games have you know, since then come even further. But yeah, for me,
we got that though. Well, I like the fact that we've gone through like the Spectrum ZX, and we've gone through those like loads of emotions leading up to now. You know, we've gone through cassettes to what we get now. It's like
I mean, like I had a game on the Amiga called Shadow of the Beast, and that used to terrify me. Like the opening cinematic was like someone. I mean, I'll have to go back and watch it because it might be completely different. But from what I remember from when I was younger, was the opening cinematic was like a monster coming through the ceiling or like the roof of a house and kidnapping a baby or a child, and like from their bed and flying off. And at the time, in the house that we lived in, like growing up, well, my parents still lived there, but at the time, my bedroom was like in a converted, like we had 2 lofts, like, you know, 2 attics, and one of them was converted into a bedroom at the top of the house. And I was like, man, like that terrified me. I used to be scared to go to bed. I mean, I was really young then.
But that scared me.
That's some scary crap. I'll have to go back and watch that.
Scary crap. I remember that, the rain, the thunderstorm, and then that beast comes. That soundtrack though, mate. Soundtrack.
I don't want to go to bed now. I live at the top of the house, and you know, what if it comes through the roof? It's going to get me first. You know, stop that.
Genre. Talking about favorite genre of gaming.
Yeah, so mine is definitely open world.
Yeah.
I think my real proper experience of open world was Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Because like I say, we've had open world on SNES and other consoles and other formats, should I say, but they haven't really been quite open world. But you know, like for example, we had Final Fantasy on the PlayStation 1, again classed as an RPG, but there was some element of freedom in it, but not quite what we get now, because obviously games have changed. But Oblivion for me was definitely that real first experience of our, you know, role-playing game, because you can literally go anywhere at any time, even if you you know, in a side mission or anything like that, you can just do what you want. And I think my problem is now, as I'm getting older, is that, like I've done with Cyberpunk, but then that's because of the game developers, is that I feel like I have to do every side mission before I finish the main quest. But with like the others, normally you can do the main mission, finish the story, and then go back to as you please to do the side missions. So I say open world because obviously like story driven games. So and obviously The Witcher 3 is obviously something I haven't finished, and obviously I'm quite
that's
keen to get back into that.
I don't think you can. I don't think it can be finished, Andy. Room around the
I've heard it's
campfire.
an infinity hours. It carries on, it goes on and on and on. So but I'll go with. I mean, I like platforms and stuff like that, but I'll go with open world because I think I get more enjoyment out of that.
So mine was a toss up between 2, but I've settled on this one. So I'd say for me, it's 2D side scrollers, but within that, there's different types of side scrollers. So you've got your Metroidvanias, your roguelites, you know, your traditional side scrollers like Mario's and stuff. Like 2D, I'd say, especially, you know, there's some fantastic art style coming out. I do like the reimagining of like the pixel art at the moment and things like that. And at the moment, like, I'm playing, you know, I was play back through Strider and stuff. There's so many different types that I'm loving. There was one game I was a little bit disappointed with recently, which was Blasphemous. I picked that up on sale on Steam, and I thought I was really going to enjoy it, but I found it a bit slow, and overall, I found it a bit miserable. Like I didn't find fun from it. Like the art style's nice, the combat's decent, but I don't know. Like you go into a room and there's like a woman hung up just bleeding. And it's just like this, like sort of gothic, like medieval style pixel art. And I was like, you know, for me, I'm like, man, give me Dead Cells, give me Katana Zero, give me Blooming Neon Abyss. Like
you telling me that you didn't like the bit when you defeat the first boss, that you cut him open and put all his blood in your helmet, and then you just put it on your head.
Well, like I don't know, there was just something for me that was missing from that game. You know,
I agree,
but especially because I was playing that in amongst playing Strider, which the contrast couldn't be any different. But for me, definitely, I'd say 2D sort of side scroll. I'm a big fan of like indie games coming out and you know, ones that have come out and stuff. And like those are the sort of games I like, especially if they don't go on forever. You know, I'm happy if I've done a game in 3 hours. I'm happy, you know, I can put it down and move on to something else. The roguelites are a bit different. Like they're by design, you play those games a bit longer. I definitely say 2D side scrolling. It was a toss up between that and sort of racing games, but I think more so 2D side scrollers. So,
Nice.
but you, Quan, what's your genre of choice?
Because I play so many, that's hard. But I would definitely have to just go like with action and adventure, like stuff like Uncharted and God of War, Last of Us, stuff like that. Man, it's just I love an action-packed game. You know, just like a great story element, just fun combat or whatever kind of adventure that the game is kind of taking us on. So that's like my favorite genre because I just been playing it since as long as I can remember my first memory, really. So
that's a really, really popular genre. I'd say probably most popular. I reckon. Those sort of games.
I would agree.
Like your Tomb Raiders, your Uncharted's, all that. They're huge, and like the budget that gets put behind them now as well. Like it's just insane. Like what they can do. It's really, really impressive. How do you feel about Tom Holland being Nathan Drake in the film?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's not right.
No,
it's not right.
It's just I don't know. I mean, unless he's like playing his younger.
Yeah, they said it's going to be like Drake. A prequel, like an origin sort of thing, but I don't know if they. It feels like they picked him for his popularity rather than having then built the story around the actor. Like that's sort of how it looks. Like for me, it should have been someone like Mark Wahlberg or something like obvious like that. Something like someone that's already there, someone that's already that dude, and do the sort of origins another time or something. I don't know. I like that kid. Like he's fun.
Yeah, I love Tom Holland, but it's just like as Nathan Drake, it's just I don't know. It just seemed kind of forced, like you said.
But at least I guess at least they're doing something a bit different. I mean, I know there was the latest one they did like when he was in the orphanage or something, didn't they? In Uncharted 4, they did a bit of like when he was younger and stuff. But we'll see what happens. But I tell you what, we haven't mentioned Mortal Kombat. How good does that trailer look?
Oh man, that fucking trailer, yo!
That looks so good, right?
It looks good. Like the CG looks good. The fighting looks amazing, man. It looks amazing.
That's not the best bits. I hope that's that. The bits that they showed was that was it. That's all you're gonna get from the film. The rest is just.
I hope not. I mean.
It is great.
They gotta deliver, man.
I think. I mean, it'll be as a film, it'll be useless, But like that's not why people are going to see it. People don't want to go and see it for Oscar-worthy nominations or anything like that. They just want to go and see. They want to see violence. They want to see their favorite characters, like how they're meant to be represented, how they look. They don't want suddenly like a man to be a woman or something like that. They want it to be like this. This is what he looks like in the game. That's what I want. With their traditional costumes, or at least maybe not their original costumes.
But you know who they are.
But like for me, I see it the same as G.I. Joe, right? I don't care about any of it except watching the ninjas fight. Like the G.I. Joe films, I only wanted to see Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. That was it. Didn't care about the rest. and in this one, it's Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Don't care about the rest.
Man.
So as long as there's a decent fight between those two that isn't over within a minute, and they I think they know those are the most popular characters. So I think that will be.
Sub-Zero looks like he's going to get a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the story seems like it's focused around him a lot by the scene, by judging on the trailer. But it's that really surprised me. I thought that was really good. In fact, maybe let's talk about a little bit of other news actually, because we had what was it? PlayStation VR 2 was announced, and they're doing new controllers for it as well. I haven't really seen anything on it. I don't know if there is any like images, like official images. I've seen mock-up images, but I haven't seen anything official at the time of this.
I think like a fake one.
I have the other VR. I didn't like the screen. Like it was, the resolution wasn't good enough, and that was a shame. I think if the resolution had been better, I would have been a lot more into it. But there were some good games, like the Astrobots game on there was really good. But I couldn't really play it for too long, and nothing really grabbed me. It just, but hopefully the next one, it is better, and I'm glad they're doing another one. because with the power of the PS5 behind it as well, like they can, you know, do something different that's affordable. That's the thing, you know. PSVR compared to sort of Oculus and all of that, like price comparison is just completely different. Like PlayStation is your sort of, you know, your entry level, your sort of your average consumer, I guess. And then we had the state of play, which Quan, we were all playing, weren't we, online? And Quan went off to watch that whilst me and Andy carried on playing. So I was like, I'll just watch it afterwards. You didn't get your God of War, did you? In that state of play?
God of War, Horizon.
No,
nothing,
there was no massive titles, but that that Saifu, or however you pronounce it, is it Saifu?
Oh, that is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Saifu, I don't know.
Saifu, something like
that looked really good, which actually made me re-download, because that's done by the people that, I don't know if you heard the game Absolver, which was on PS Plus a little while back, and it's made by them, and it's very sort of one-on-one combat heavy, but it's not like a Street Fighter or anything, you know. You go around a little not open world, but you go around a little world, and the fight in that is really, really good, and it's made by the same people. But this one, I much prefer the aesthetic and everything. And the beginning where he's in that corridor, that reminded me very much of like Old Boy and stuff like that, you know, where you just go into a corridor and you just got to beat up a load of dudes. Didn't have a hammer like Old Boy, but it
reminds me of this game called Rise to Honor with Jet Li. In like PS2 days, man. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. Like, that's one thing that did stick out to me in the state of play. Like, okay, I get to beat somebody ass. I'm with it.
Yeah, and it looked violent. It had a very Warriors. We were talking about Warriors in the last one, about how unfortunately it doesn't work. But it had that very much like, there's a table, smash their head off the table. There's a wall. Like, do you know what I mean? It was sort of very much like use your environment as well. And the Warriors has that. And another game actually that I played a bit of, Sleeping Dogs, had that as well. That had some really good combat in that game. That was a pretty decent game actually. But other than that, there's not really, I mean, not a ton of like big news since we last did our episode. But there's some little bits out there. There's some fun games coming. I did want to talk, actually. One thing I did want to talk about, and I did briefly speak to Andy about this earlier. Quan, do you have the disc version or the discless version of the PlayStation 5?
Oh yeah, I got the digital.
You got digital, yeah. So I don't know what the prices are on the American store, but like Ratchet and Clank coming out here is $69.99 in pounds. Like, that's expensive here for a game. And I have
the same for dollars.
If I want that on launch day, I have no choice but to pay that. And I sort of knew it going in, really, that I was like, the price I pay for games is up to PlayStation, really. There's a couple of little workarounds, you know, there's a couple of websites where you can get like store cards for like £5 off and stuff, so you can save a little bit of money. But I was saying, like, I don't know, like Ratchet and Clank in particular, is that going to be worth like £70? Which that's a lot of money for a single player game. Like, I'll probably be done with it. I'll probably be done with it, maybe 10-15 hours. To get my money's worth, I'd have to do all the challenges, platinum, all that sort of thing. So I definitely, I think if anyone hasn't got a PS5 and they're thinking of getting one, me personally, I would spend a little bit extra and get the disc version if you can. Just for that reason, you know, because then you can go on Amazon a week later and maybe the game's got money off, or, you know, at least you can shop around. You're not just stuck on the digital store. Waiting, hoping that these games go on sale. Like, I've been waiting for Sackboy Adventure on the PS5 to go on sale because I refuse to pay £60 for that game.
Right.
You know, and it hasn't gone on sale yet. And I understand why they haven't put it on sale. And, you know, it's sort of my fault for going digital. And the reason I did go digital is because most games I, you know, buy once and then we share across the two consoles. So, you know, that's why I went digital. But for the odd single player game, I have no choice but to either pay the price on that day that they want me to pay, or wait. But I the way it's going, I don't think I will buy a game at full price on the PlayStation 5. I just think, unless it's something I'm really into. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Just a little bit of advice from a consumer that has one, to, you know, a little bit of advice. Obviously, you know, go digital if money's no issue, or if you even only buy like maybe 2 games a year, I guess it's not a problem. But for me, I go for a lot of games. I do most of them on Steam. But yeah, when I saw Ratchet and Clank at £70 over here in the UK, I was like, wow,
that's a lot.
That is a lot of money, yeah.
And like that Returnal game that comes out in April, I think it's April, might be May. That's also £70. So it looks like Sony, at least Sony exclusives are going to be at least £70. But that's like standard as well. Like that's not, there's no season pass, there's no extras. That's their basic. The remake of Final Fantasy, that's coming. They're doing a PS5 version. That is £70. You know, so that's not even a new game out. You know, and they're throwing it on the PSN on PlayStation Plus next month or this month. We're in March now.
Is it going to be much different compared to the PlayStation 4 one? I suppose it would be.
It's going to be 60 frames. It will have, you know, slightly fancier graphics, but it's not a brand new game. I think they're putting a few extra bits in that one, to be fair. I think there's some extra missions and an extra character and stuff. I'm not 100% sure because I was thinking, oh, maybe that's when I do pick it up and grin and bear the cutscenes. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there as some sort of advice to anyone. You know,
I agree.
If I like going back now, if I had the choice, I mean, don't get me wrong, maybe in the future I will still buy a disc version and then sell my discless version. My wife doesn't care. But you know, like I bought her Assassin's Creed, she's done with it. I can't even like sell it on or loan it to a friend or anything. So, but I knew that going in, but I didn't expect a game like Ratchet and Clank to be £70 as standard. That's too much for, you know, Ratchet and Clank. Yeah. Man. Not all PS5s are games are that price, you know, from other developers and stuff. So,
yeah, like 2K. The reason I haven't gotten NBA 2K is because it's still $70, and like I can get that on sale. Like, well, at least in the previous years, like with PS4, and like I could get it on sale or a used copy or something, and it's a lot cheaper. Now I'm literally just stuck with having to pay $70 if I want the game. So yeah, I definitely.
I mean, like Ratchet and Clank was on like my sort of anticipated list, my top 6 games this year. You know, I probably won't get it this year because I won't. It's not that I can't afford to pay £70. You know, I have the money to go and drop it on that game. I don't want to drop it on that game. I don't want to pay £70 for a single player game that maybe I'm going to get 10, 15 hours out of. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the game's going to come out and be 100 hours big. I doubt it, but who knows?
I think it was. And I don't think those games are free.
Don't get me wrong either. I don't think the size of the game should the price of the game should change depending on how big the game is. I don't think that. Like, so don't get me wrong on that. But what I do think is, me personally, a single player experience that maybe I'm going to get 10, 15 hours out of, I don't want to drop 70 quid on it. I'm not saying it's not worth it. I'm not saying, I'm not saying, because I might buy it, I might absolutely love it and be like, that was worth every penny. I don't care how much it was. But I just think, man, like it probably would have been 50 on the PS4 if it was a PS4 game. And now because it's PS5 exclusive, it's like, boom, it's like, and I get it, things go up in price, fine. But I'm just saying, get a disc drive if you can, because at least then you can wait a couple of weeks. Full well, Amazon will drop the price, Game will drop the price, whatever retailer you normally go to will compete with the other one, and you'll get it at least £10 off. So that's just my advice. It's my advice.
I may have to do that now.
And don't buy one yet anyway, because they keep bloody crashing and kicking me out of zombies every time I get to level 3. So. Right, what we got next? So we're nearly done, man. We've got a couple of questions left. So I've got one here that is a license that you'd most like a game to be based on. It can be a license that's already been used, like a Spider-Man or a Batman or something. But yeah, a license that you would most like a game to be based on. Who wants to? Oh, crikey. Andy's ready for it. He just cracked his knuckles.
No, I'm not. That's me thinking, and then I cracked my fingers. And then
man, yeah, I heard that. Came through loud.
I'll let Quan go first. What I think.
Go on, Quan.
I know EA owns the license for NFL, so nobody can make a football game except for EA. So we're football fans. We're stuck with Madden. Just a shit game. I mean, just absolute shit. And back in 2004, they made 2K football, NBA 2K, not NBA, NFL 2K5. That was one of the best football games to this date.
Yeah.
And, just a lot of different football games that were out there, like Blitz and all that other stuff. I'm just hoping that the NFL just come to their senses and like don't just allow EA to have exclusive rights to the
they've got no
NFL
competition,
because,
so they don't. It doesn't matter what they put out, you know.
Yeah, they need competition because just like with NBA, NBA Live versus NBA 2K, which is EA versus 2K.
Yeah.
And basically, 2K just kind of blew them out the park. So I guess they feared that with football. So it just kind of sucks that we're stuck with this franchise and there's just no improvement, even given that it's a whole new generation of a console, and it's still just complete shit, man.
Yeah.
So hopefully they give up those licenses, man.
And those sort of games anyway. I mean, there's sort of controversy around those sort of games anyway, that they shouldn't even be released yearly. It should be like, here's just an update to the game you've got, like you know, like a live service sort of thing, you know, pay £10 for this year's, I don't know if there's a change in uniform or, you know, rosters, like things like that. But
I agree with that, man. I definitely agree.
You know, they're it's the same with FIFA. Like, you know, obviously FIFA's huge over here, you know, the football is massive over here. And people say the same thing. And also, like, you know, you're paying for those. I don't know if it's in NFL in the same way, but in FIFA, you pay for those packs, you know, to get like your players for your fantasy team. You can't even transfer those to the next version of the game, you know. So you're spending people spending all this money, and then the new game comes out. And if you want to buy the new game, you can't take anything that you've just done in the last game. Like, you can't carry it over. And I get it from a business standpoint, but again, I mean, other people are making football games. I know there's like Evolution Soccer or something. Konami used to make it, didn't they?
Pro.
I don't know if they still make it. I don't know who makes it now. I don't follow football, but again, I remember for the longest time growing up, I just remember everyone going for FIFA, even though the reviews for the other game was better, but FIFA had the license.
Yeah,
you know,
Pro
and Pro Evo didn't have the license. So it was that. So yeah, and the thing is, EA, they now own the F1 license, Formula One. You know, because they bought Codemasters.
They bought Codemasters, They bought Codemasters.
They said they're going to leave Codemasters basically to their own devices and just reap the rewards, but we'll see. You know, you'll probably find that, I don't know, Codemasters aren't exactly the best for their monetization either. But yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, I think that's a good one, definitely to bring up about, you know, EA having no competition on football and not allowing anyone to have competition on football. And NFL don't care. They're making their money. You know, they you know, they're just like, fine, we don't care who makes the game.
They can make so much more, man. They can make so much more.
Yeah.
They just.
Yeah, no, I fully understand that.
My dog is trying to rob me for my shoe.
Give me a shoe.
Just very precise.
For me, Andy, have you thought of a license yet?
Not yet. I've got something in mind.
Right, for me, it's simple, and I've said this a million times. But Thundercats. I want a game made with a Thundercats license, and I don't mean something crap, right? And I'll take a lazy version. And what I mean by a lazy version is, I've always said this ever since I played Soul Calibur, is just reskin the Soul Calibur characters with Thundercat characters. You know, Mitsurugi can be Lion-O. You got Kalik can become a woman and be Shitara. You've got Maxi can be Panthro. Like Nightmare can be Mumra. Do you know what I mean? Just even if you just do a DLC pack of skins, I'll be happy, because I would love nothing more than just have a fighting game with Thundercat characters, or a sort of action adventure, you know, a little bit old school, maybe in its mechanics, where, like, I got a comic book series called The Return, right, from Thundercats, where Lion-O comes out the Sword of Omens, and all the Thundercats have been captured because he went in there. When he goes in there, time outside is basically going to come to a standstill. So it's like he hasn't, you know, he goes in for a minute, like he goes in for 5 years, but only a minute has passed. But Mumra puts a spell on it, and so when Lion-O comes out, time has, like, you know, gone on in real time. He's there, you know, Mumra's then captured all the Thundercats. How cool would it be to start the game as Lion-O, right? You go around, you level up, but then you go and save Panthro. He's then an unlockable character. You got Panthro, totally different skill set, nunchucks, everything. Then you go and unlock Tigray. You got a whip. You can go invisible. The possibilities are endless. I don't know who has the license for Thundercats when it comes to games, if anyone even does, if anyone even cares. But man, like, just have that idea. I don't care. Take my idea. Just take it, and I will just love it if you make the game. I would be so happy to have a Thundercat game. It would be awesome.
Nice.
I think there's someone out there that cares, man. I mean, I like the Thundercats, probably not as much as what you did. I was more of a Teenage Mutant and Hero.
I got it all tattooed on my arm.
I was more of a Teenage Mutant, obviously at the time, Hero Turtles, not Ninja Turtles, because it's too violent. You can't say that here in this country.
No,
but
exactly.
I was more of a Turtles, but I did like the Thundercats.
Yeah, I would be very happy with a game based on the Thundercat license. And like I said, just give me some DLC skins for Soul Calibur. That would just be awesome. You know.
Yeah.
The characters are already there. The weapons are already there. Just make them look like the characters I want them to look like. Right. Andy, we're going to have to do it. How is this time going so quick? Well, I suppose, to be fair, we've still got 8 minutes. So if you okay.
Make this quick, and I'm going to be quite controversial because you were talking about EA, and I agree with everything you said about EA. However, I wouldn't mind them taking the WWE licenses. Only on the basis that 2K, I think they've just had their time. They've fallen out with developers.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Dukes. I think it was the developers. They've now become a partner of Dukes. Were the ones that were there from the very beginning when THQ published the games.
THQ,
back in the SmackDown 2, and here comes
those were the games.
There were good games. But I saw because I think EA are doing a UFC.
Yeah, they do UFC.
Yeah. So Brock Lesnar is quite a well-known UFC fighter, but he was obviously quite a well-known WWE superstar. And they did they've done his model, his design for the UFC. It is twice as better than what 2K.
UFC, the UFC game, the graphics are awesome.
Amazing.
Really good.
Sounds really horrible because obviously EA get on my nerves, with a lot of things. But I'm quite happy for them to take the WWE. But I would be scared of the microtransactions because they'll probably be like skins for the wrestlers where it's like, it's 20 quid. Like they do
it'd be so easy. Here's like your 90s retro pack for 20 quid. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then fighting games, I mean, I play Dead or Alive. They're the worst. Sort of the worst, but sort of good at the same time. The good thing with Dead or Alive series, especially 5 and 6, is
I love 5, man.
You can buy the characters individually if you want. So you can get the base game for free with a couple of characters, couple of stages. Well, I think you get all the stages actually, but a couple of characters. And then, for me, there's probably only 4 characters I would fight as. So I just buy those characters individually. So it saves me money. But if you want the whole lot, it costs you a lot of money. And then, their microtransactions come in the forms of the skins, like the outfits. Yeah. And I can't remember. I'll have to look it up and I'll drop it in the description because it's thousands how much it costs to buy everything. Wow. If you bought everything from Dead or Alive 5 or Dead or Alive 6, it costs you thousands of pounds. It's insane how much it costs. There's so much stuff on there, and like this time in Dead or Alive 6, they release all the characters, in respectable outfits, but Dead or Alive is known for jiggly boobs in a fighting game. So then to buy, so then all these people are buying the oh, there he is. So all these people are buying like the I don't know, all the bikini outfits, paying extra for it and stuff, whatever they're into. Graphics are good if you live on your own, happy days. But microtransactions are a bad thing, and I think fighting games are some of the worst, definitely, because it's so easy for them to do. Street Fighter, the latest Street Fighter when that came out, was missing everything. And then they sell you everything afterwards. Some of it was free, but a lot of it you had to pay for. But
I miss the days where they just let you unlock the characters after you just accomplish certain goals in the game and stuff.
Games like that do exist still, and the weird thing is those games are the ones like people make a deal about that, like, oh my god, like you don't have, there's no microtransactions in this. It's like that's now a headline. And was it Crash Team Racing came out with no microtransactions? Everyone's like, this is great, you can unlock everything in the game. And then like a month later, they put microtransactions in once all the reviews were done. It's like, what the hell, man?
You bought the game, now we're going to screw you over. By
Call of Duty did that as well. I can't remember which one it was. Black Ops 4, I think they did that. They released it without any. And then after the reviews were out, they then implemented them. It's like, wow.
I think that's the thing now, isn't it? It's the thing now with games. I think they're always it's going to be around there. It's the thing. It's what
I'm happy to spend money in a game, but not if I've already paid for the game. You know, if I've already bought the game, like it's different. Like Apex, happy to drop some money on Apex, or I was.
Yeah.
You know, because I didn't pay for the game outright. You know, so I'm happy to buy like the other little
same.
cosmetic and stuff. But
yeah, no, I'm the same.
But yeah, I mean, right. And then we've got, so I had a friend of mine called NeoGamer86. So I'll drop the link for his channel down in the description. He's also started doing some sort of royalty-free music that you can use as well, which is really good. And his question was a sequel or a remake that you're hoping that gets made that hasn't been announced yet. And his choice was the old motorbike game Road Rash.
Yeah.
Now I did play sort of, I don't know if it's not the same team or anything, but there was like a game called Road Redemption that came out not too long ago. That was sort of along similar lines, you know, motorcycles, and you know, you can literally cut people's heads off whilst racing on the bikes and stuff. It's quite funny. But it's not like a true sequel, but it was pretty decent. So that was his choice. So yeah, we'll go to you, Andy. What have you got for a remake or a sequel that you'd like to get made that hasn't been announced yet?
Sequel, please make it. I've been waiting for years. And I have hope now. If they've done Shenmue, okay, they can do this, and that's Half-Life 3. Give me Half-Life 3, please. I played.
Okay, yeah. I think there's a lot of people that want that.
Yeah. And because I loved the other two games. I mean, Half-Life was quite a special moment for me because it was I got at the time I was very, very ill when I was at my early years at secondary school, and I was off for about 6 months, and my parents worked with the school to get me a home tutor. So my dad said, right, we need to get a PC. So myself and my brother at the time said, how do I about getting a PC? We basically gave him all the gaming PC that we needed. He said, will that help with your homework? I said, yes, Dad.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
Will be brilliant for the homework, Dad. Yeah, we need this. And we had what at the time was a top-notch PC. Obviously, be pants now, but we played Half-Life. I blew my mind, but mainly blew my mind because it was, like I say, it was sort of one of those first-person games that was quite revolutionary at the time. But I loved that game, and then they made the second one, which it was a bit different. I loved the aesthetics, I loved the sounds, I loved the music, and again the storyline was quite compelling.
And that's the one with like is it the gravity gun or something? I've never played it, but I've seen the speed running of it, and the speed runnings are insane.
I really liked it, and just give me a third one, but it's probably never gonna happen. They
did that Half-Life Alex, didn't they? The VR one, which obviously we're not able to play. We don't have that sort of equipment. No. I don't know. I don't know if I could run it. I could probably run it, but I don't have is it Oculus or whatever.
I'll be over your house, mate. Won't get me rid of me.
I'm not going to spend that much money on VR. No way.
Man, it's too expensive.
Yeah. What about you, Quan? Sequel or remake that hasn't been announced? What would you like?
That's a lot, but like my most anticipated sequel right now is definitely Spider-Man. I've had the PS4 version at least. I've had a lot of fun on Spider-Man just in general. Like that's easily became one of my favorite games like all the time. Yeah. Maybe like my top 5, top 10, somewhere around there. So I'm definitely looking forward to like Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
It's not really announced, but it's kind of inevitable. They kind of teased it at the end of the first game, and it's just a matter of time. Like we're just waiting for an announcement at this point.
So Miles Morales wasn't a true sequel, right? Is that right? It's
it was kind of like a spin-off,
like a smaller game, sort of like what they did with Uncharted. They did like a spin-off, didn't they? Like Lost Legacy or something, didn't they? Yeah. So it's like man, I might have to try that because I've heard a lot of people say it's a bit more, although it's open world, there's a lot less missions and stuff. So
quite short.
Yeah, might have to try that. You know, wait for it to go on. So, that's not super expensive anyway at the moment. I think that came out a bit cheaper anyway on the PS5 because it wasn't classed as a full game. Yeah, it's a good shout. Might have to give that a go. For me, I spoke about it earlier about how I've been playing it recently, and I would love a sequel to Strider. I honestly, I think everyone should go back and play that because it really is such a great game. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's really good at making you feel like badass. You know, like the enemies are very disposable. You know, like cannon fodder. You can just smash through them, no trouble. And like at the stage I'm at now, I'm fully powered. Everything's fully like leveled up, and it's awesome. The bosses could give you a little bit of a hassle, and I'm sure going through it on hard would be difficult. But yeah, I'd love a sequel to that, just because it's a really, really good game. And they don't really do much with the Strider license. So Strider, it's a weird one, Strider. So obviously they, you know, made the original arcade game. They ported a version to the NES, which wasn't great. And then like there's been different versions on a few older consoles and stuff. I think it even ended up on like, is it the Wii Virtual Shop and stuff like that or something. You know, it's been around. And then they did the remake in 2014. And like I said, Strider's also a playable character in the Marvel vs. Capcom fighting games. I've been playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3 actually, but I don't like the art style when I go and get Marvel Capcom versus 2, which is on the Dreamcast, so I'll get that emulated, I think, because I much prefer the art style. But yeah, like they don't do much. So Capcom's like part own the license to Strider. I can't remember the guy's name who, like the creator's name who actually created him. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, but yeah. So it's really weird because like on Marvel versus Capcom, it will like load up. So you got all the Marvel characters, you know, owned by Marvel, you know, and you got all the you know, Street Fighter characters owned by Capcom. But then Strider has his own copyright. He's the only character in the game to have a separate copyright because someone else still basically owns him with Capcom. It's pretty cool. So, you know, but they just, yeah, I don't know why they don't do more with it. I mean, yeah, it'd be good. I don't want them to do like a 3D game or anything like that. I don't think it needs anything like that because there's plenty of games like that, you know.
Yeah.
But definitely another 2D game would be really cool. So yeah, that's my pick for remake or sequel.
Yeah.
Not remake.
Cool.
Doesn't need a remake, but definitely sequel. Yeah.
Sequel. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, I think that about wraps it up. I mean, I haven't added up the time of these videos yet, but I think this is going to hit the 2-hour mark. And then, yeah. So hopefully people have tuned in. No, I don't expect people to sit there for the whole time, but, you know, feel free to.
I want them to sit here for the whole.
I expect my mum to. I'll be really disappointed if my mum doesn't tune in. But yeah,
Me too. Yeah.
We're really enjoying doing this. And like I said, the feedback from the first episode has been really, really good. It was really fun. Like I didn't expect the live premiere. I didn't know what to expect from that. I didn't realize it was going to play the video. I thought like if you tuned in at any time, it would just start from the beginning. I didn't realize it was gonna, you know, if you tune in half hour in, you've missed the first time. That was really cool. Like I actually thought that was really cool.
I like the countdown. I goes, oh, the countdown.
Yeah, like I didn't expect any. I've never done it before. So I was like, this is amazing. But yeah, I do understand why some people then thought we were doing it live, which we weren't. We will always pre-record this.
Pre-record it.
Well, for now anyway, maybe we'll do a live one in the future if it becomes like a bigger thing. We got a load of people joining on the chat. But yeah, I'll be there in the chat. So hopefully I've answered your questions if you've joined in.
I'll be there too. So,
and all in all, I just want to give a big shout out to DaftBubble and UncleQuan, you know, for helping me do this. You know, we're sort of behind the scenes as well, you know, and we're really enjoying ourselves. And yeah, you know, we've met some great people online. I want to give a shout out to Squid Dylan.
yeah, definitely.
Squid Dylan.
Yeah, like that. Yeah,
our Rocket League man. We've got the Mental Midgit. You know, like we're all playing Call of Duty and Rocket League with him at the moment as well. Shout out to my wife for joining in. You know, she's loving life. She's still there, I think. She's still watching Breaking Bad. Look, I know. Yeah, still Breaking Bad. Loving it. She's seen it before, but she can't remember anything, whereas I can somehow remember pretty much everything of it. So
love that. Love it.
So I can miss episodes and not worry about with reruns. But yeah, at the moment, like there's just been a real like good community around all this, and we're having a really good time. So
absolutely, man.
Thanks to everyone. And just comment in the description. I'll check out your channels. We all will. You know, we're sort of all like helping each other out, and we're having a great time. So. From me, it's goodbye.
And from me, it's sayonara.
Peace.
Peace. There you go.
Yeah.
There we go. We've just done our sign-off catchphrases, so that's going to stick now. So he's always got to say sayonara. So yeah, take care, and we'll see you in the next one.
All right.